Hello once again, Star Wars and Unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. Today we kind of have a hodgepodge of lots of different stuff going on here. We have some solo merchandise in the form of these bobblehead mystery minis. We have a Hot Wheels that I don't think is an old one. It's somewhat old, but I haven't been able to find it until recently, so that's cool. We have a couple more Black Series that I wanted to show up, and then we have a non-unboxing of some of the vintage line, which I'll do a quick review of. Okay, so why don't we first start with that, since that is the most, probably most exciting thing is the return of the vintage line. Now I know a lot of people are, kind of have their opinions about the vintage line and whether or not this is something that should or shouldn't happen. But I am of the opinion that if they're going to continue to release Star Wars movies, there is always going to be, at least for the foreseeable future, there is always going to be a series of fans, a demographic of fans that are going to want to see that nostalgic racing stripe on the black card with a photo or art of the character. Okay, for those of you that are young, which I know a lot of people who watch the show are much younger than me, be aware of this. Back in the day, this was a Star Wars figure, and this is what everybody was seeking. And I always joked, I said, if I can take a time machine and go back and do anything, I would simply just go back and buy up as many of these as I could, because you literally could, if it looked like this, you could literally put your kids through college. Today, with today's skyrocketing college prices, you could do that with just one set of Star Wars figures, okay? And that's not something that's, that's not somebody just whistling Dixie, that's something where people have paid thousands of dollars for mint carded figures. Now, having said that, these are not going to be worth anything near that. They're not even going to be worth anything, like, they're barely going to be worth the amount you pay for them now. I mean, the reality of it is that in this day and age, toys are mass produced and it costs a heck of a lot less to do so. So they can produce a lot more, okay, to meet the demand. However, I will say that in my search for these, I did come up where there were very few hanging on the pegs. Some more than others, but that's just maybe because of the nature of the figure. The reality is that for the most part, I own most of these figures already. But when it comes to the vintage line, I do like to have one version of every figure in the card. Why? Well, because I am a nostalgic collector. I enjoy the reminiscing about that, and I love seeing, for example, we'll start with this one. I love seeing a action figure Rey on a vintage card. I think it ties it all in. It helps tie in all of this into one universe. Star Wars is one big, massive universe. And this kind of helps cement that. It has a very similar setup in the back. It has some of the other figures in this particular set. Looks like, for the most part, I have all but one in this particular series. This is VC116. Okay. Perhaps what I will do is at the conclusion of this video, I will kind of go through very quickly the VC 1 through 115 or whatever numbers they are, and kind of show you what the other ones are. So, and I do like that they kind of created a logo for the box art that kind of is a throwback to the Star Wars Empire and Jedi, as well as now the prequels. They did similar box art for the last time they did this. This has been about 10 years since they've done this, so it's really cool to see it. So we have Rey from Jakku, comes with the mask that she can wear. Again, I'm not taking this out of the package. I'm going to let it just be on display. I'm going to hang it. I even like that they pretty much, I don't think they used a punched card. They used to have this, they call it punched and unpunched, where this thing used to have like a little piece of cardboard in its place, and you would unpunch it to hang it on the peg. And people were like, "Oh no, it's got to be unpunched, otherwise it's not worth anything." This one, it doesn't seem as though they created an unpunched version. It's just the punch version, so it helps. All right, so that makes it easier to display. Okay, so let's go in order. I think that's 116. So here's 117. Another Force Awakens, Kylo Ren. Okay. Again, I believe these are all repacks. There are some great sites like rebelscum.com, JediTempleArchives.com. They're both great places to resources to look at photo archives of all figures, and I think one or both of them even let you know whenever a figure was a repack. Okay, again, I don't mind repacks when it comes to the vintage line. I will collect the whole thing. Okay, because it's just nice. I do enjoy having some carded figures. Of course, there might come a point where it's going to be too much, but we're not there yet. So there's Kylo Ren. That's number 117. Now I don't have 118. 118 would be the one I'm missing, the Clone Trooper. But I've been seeing that one on the peg, so I will probably pick that one up at a future date. Now we move on to a Rogue One Jyn Erso. Okay, again, this Jyn Erso figure is has already been released. These are Black Series figures. These are not the 5-point of articulation figures, so they're a little more expensive. I do see that the price of these are going up considerably. I do wonder about that. I'm wondering if that is really just a play on the nostalgic, and in which case I did, fall for it. But I also have been around the block enough times to know that at the end of the day, certain things Star Wars is not hanging on the peg like a whole wall, like it was doing for Episode 1 of Phantom Menace. Okay, there are nice key little areas, but when you look at the actual number of figures hanging, there aren't that many. So I decided, you know what? I would rather pay the full price now, and there's a double reason for that. Paying the full price for these figures ensures that the company will continue to make them. It will ensure that the distributors, that the retail establishments will continue to stock them. Okay, if you constantly are waiting for the deal, and don't get me wrong, I do wait for the deal from time to time. I do try to find coupons and wait for when something might go on clearance. I do take that step from time to time, but I also feel like you have to balance it as a collector. You have to balance it with paying full price from time to time, because if you don't, they're eventually, if there's not enough interest in it, that everything always gets put on clearance, they're not going to be able to do it. That's why I was so excited about the whole HasLab thing with the Jabba sail barge, because that allowed us to, for them to purchase something just for the people that really, really wanted it, and not even bother putting it in stores. So, anyway, Jyn Erso looks great. I love the Rogue One art. That's really cool too. Okay, then we have VC-120, the Rebel Soldier Hoth. Okay, loving this. I think that there's going to be a lot of people. This is one I would look for, because I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want this one, because there are things called, for those who don't know, there are groups called troop builders, and they don't just collect one figure. They collect, if it's something that's a generic, like a soldier, they will collect hundreds of them and put them together in a display where you don't see. They don't want to just see one of the figures. They want to see a whole battalion of stormtroopers or a whole squad of rebel troopers. They don't just want the one. So these are the kind of things you got to look for. And if you see them, I would grab them, because I think that oftentimes people are going to buy them. Now, they may, if this is a repack, which I'm guessing it is, they may have already done this, but if some people have, lost the chance to do that, sometimes people look for things like that on eBay, looking for bulk figures. If some kid plays with their figures and then grows up and mom and dad decide they want to sell the figures on eBay, they just sell them in a pile. I've purchased that. I did a video of making a figure wreath using that, so you get the idea. But you can find figures in mass quantities that way. But anything that's a trooper, people might be trying to pick up. One other thing I want to throw back, I want to point out, is this. I love the Kenner logo. Okay, Kenner is really not in existence anymore. Okay, it's been pretty much totally engulfed by Hasbro, but they do allow, because of that, they do occasionally throw the label on when it's a vintage style figure. So kudos to them on that. So I love that, and I love they got it's an old photo from the original movie, and I have no idea who that actor is. Probably some Norwegian. There's probably some Norwegian. I think they were rescue troopers or something that played those roles. So somewhere in Norway, some probably child or grandchild of this actor, or is probably going to desperately look for this figure. All right, and then lastly, in this particular series, we have VC-121. We have Snoke. Okay, Supreme Leader Snoke, complete with gold robe, and it looks like he's got his slippers on. So yay for Snoke. Again, I've mentioned this before. I loved what they did with Snoke, in the fact that they put him out there, they gave him some intense moments, and then they killed him. Because honestly, folks, you don't want to rehash the same story over and over. And I know people are like, they want to know about Snoke's backstory, and I get that, and I wouldn't mind having that as well. But I just feel like, I kind of felt like, as the way he was goading on Kylo Ren and everything else, it just felt like his time is coming. His time was coming. I mean, I don't know how he could have withstood another movie only to be, gotten rid of at that point. It's just it's a different type of story. We've kind of had that story. Let's try a different story. So I'm okay with Snoke being gone, but I did like the character, and I did like the way they used him in The Last Jedi. So I like the figure. I think it's good, and I love seeing The Last Jedi up here. This is one of my favorite things. It ties them all together. It's just a nice thing. So as I said, these are not being unboxed. These will be hung up proudly on display somehow when I find the room. Okay, and again, they've already been unboxed, most of these. Okay, so we don't really have to do that. So I'm going to put these down here, and let's take a look at because I do want to do some unboxing. Let's take a look at some of the stuff that we have here. We'll start off real quick with the character cars. Jabba the Hutt and Han Solo in Carbonite. I just thought this was a hoot. I thought this was hysterical. These two characters as cars, to me, is ingenious. First, we've got Han, who's very similar to his same kind of car from previous ones, but this one's just very black, and there he is. And I'm just laughing. Like, looking at it from the top, there really isn't, you don't really see his face, because, you wouldn't see that on this. This is the car is the character. You just kind of see the whole carbonite kind of texture all the way around it. So that's really cool. And even the front grille kind of is reminiscent of the orange striped kind of lighting that they had there. So the detail here is absolutely amazing, even right down to the copper looking hubcaps. So really neat. And again, I'll get some close-up shots of this. And then Jabba. Jabba just looked like, I don't even know. I think my favorite part of Jabba, though, it kind of looks like a van. Like, it almost has a feel of like a Volkswagen 1960s van with a little bit more drag racer mixed in. But my absolute favorite is the fact that over the top, when you look down, it's like the trapdoor, and you can look down and see a grate, and where everybody was looking down next to the trapdoor, and you can see what looks like it might be the Rancor, as if the Rancor is stored inside the belly of Jabba, which is just freaky, but it's a really cool thing. So I love these. I love the character cars. I hope they keep doing them with new characters. I actually purchased a car collection display case that you just take off the plastic cap, and you can just put the cars in. It's so nice. It looks really great. These will probably fill it up completely, so I'm going to have to get another one. But still, kudos, awesome, really, really good. All right, so let's talk about the Solo bobblehead mystery minis from Funko. Now, unlike what I like about these is that it gives you on the back here, or on the side, it kind of gives you a ratio of like how good of a shot you have of getting certain figures. So for example, you have a 1 in 6 shot of getting Han and Chewie. So, as well as Woody Harrelson's character, Tobias, or Kira. So that's 1 in 6, right? Then you've got a couple of other characters, and I'm sorry, forgive me, I don't know, like a 1 in 12 chance of getting Lando, a 1 in 36 chance of, I think, getting, what's his name, Vision's character. I can't think of the actor's name. There's a 1 in 12, a 1 in 72. The droid is a 1 in 72. So it's kind of fun to see, where your where you're when you get your figure, what is the odds of the figure you're getting. Never tell me the odds, as Han would say. So let's see how this one. The first one we get, I only picked up 3, so I'm hoping no doubles, but we shall see. Okay, first one is Kira. Okay, and I said Kira is 1 in 6. All right. So the nice thing about it is that even if you do get the only thing I have about the mini bobbles is that the bobblehead barely works, and oftentimes the heads have to be turned, but they're spring, so you can turn them. Just got to go a little bit further, and then you get your thing. So Kira bobblehead, really cool. Looking forward to seeing what their story is in this movie. Let's see what our next one is. And all right. The suspense. The suspense. Oh, we've got Tobias Beckett. All right, cool. And that was another 1 in 6. All right, cool. So far I've played the odds, the smallest odds. So, which is to be expected because, as I said, I can't remember. I know with the Disney ones, the Vinylmation, there used to be a thing where when you buy a case, you're going to get at least everything. You're going to get everything. But there's a lot of doubles in there too. There's only like maybe 9 in the series, and the case might have double that amount. So I just don't want it to be a double. Please let it not be a double. It's a double. It's a double. Another Kira. All right. Well, then be prepared. I'm not going to do it just yet because I'm in the middle of another, or we're very close to another giveaway. But maybe what I'll do is I will put together a giveaway package for with a bunch of things, and we'll put some stuff together, like we'll have some fun with that. All right. So they're cute. Do I intend to fulfill the whole collection? Guys, I never intend to fulfill the whole collection. If it happens, it happens. But there's just so many cool things out there that I just kind of pick and choose. And that's why, in some ways, not having that much of a connection to it, there might be certain things that I might just take a whole pile of stuff and say, you know what, I'm going to sell all these off, or I'm going to do a giveaway, or whatever. So keep watching episodes to see them happen. I'm trying to do them a little more often. It's just kind of hard to set up, so we'll continue trying. All right, so we've got 2 more, as one I didn't show, but we have our Jawa number 61. Oh, you know what? Oh, sorry, folks. I have to pull back. This is also what I'm going to keep unboxed. I know people are like, no, but keep in mind, guys, we already did this one. This has already been from the original Vintage Collection 6-inch series, so we're going to leave this one alone. But don't worry. There was one more that I didn't show, and that is these. They're Porgs. Yep, we have Porgs. We literally have a Black Series set of Porgs, a 2-pack. It was about $6. That's actually pretty cool. It's like one of the cheapest things out there, and they're so cute. Oh my goodness. So let's do it. And I noticed, as people were getting them, I think that was something that even people that are not really collectors or not even really huge Star Wars fans who just love the Porgs, it's such a minor expense that I think a lot of people were just like, nope, I'm going to go get it. So we got one. Whoops. Sorry there, dude. I definitely got to give you some close-ups here because these are really, really tiny. But here we go. All right, we got our standing. We have our standing little guy with the wings out, and then we have one that's kind of more seated, kind of in a nesting position. And the 2 of them make our Porg 2-pack. They will definitely be photos inserted in the midst of all this, so you can see them better. But that is awesome, and they are to scale to the 6-inch figures. So I will probably just place them near Chewbacca, just because why not? And they're awesome. They're cute. I love the Porgs. My only thing I'm not looking forward to with Solo and Star Wars Story is that there's no way you can have Porgs in that movie, just because it's happening too early, and Chewbacca would not have had an interaction with them. So there aren't going to be Porgs. I hope that they, when we get to episode 9, that J.J. Abrams decides not to just throw out the Porgs, because they are cute, they are funny, they're just the right amount of humor without being too crazy. They're not smart enough as creatures like Ewoks that some people will have a hard time having them overthrow the Empire or the First Order or anything like that. It isn't about that. They're just about kind of being a nuisance, but in a fun way. So, really cool. All right, so it was a lot of mishmash, guys. I'm sorry I didn't get to unbox a lot of what I showed today. I know I'm an unboxing channel, but be aware that there are some things that I don't unbox. It's just the way it is. And maybe someday I'll get to those, but again, a lot of the stuff we've already seen. So I'm not going to keep unboxing the same toys over and over again either. So be sure to like and subscribe. Hit the notification button for future videos, and check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Darth Tuba, the Darth Tuba Star Wars unboxing page on Facebook, and leave a comment. Email darthtuba77@gmail.com, and let me know if you have anything specific you want me to try to do. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you. Hello again, Star Wars and unboxing fans. I just wanted to put this tag on our video because I have not forgotten. We are due for our new YouTube comment selection winner for our giveaway, our Star Wars Unleashed Tusken Raider figure. Thank you for all of you who entered comments. The randomly chosen winner this time around is Jake Conley. So congratulations, Jake. Make sure you either Facebook or message me on YouTube or send me an email, darthtuba77@gmail.com, probably the best way to do it, and send me your contact info, and as soon as you do, I will get this in the mail to you right away. Okay, so congratulations, Jake Conley. Okay, so, and for everybody else, there will be more giveaways, and we will get them out to you as soon as we have stuff ready to do. All right, so thank you so much, and we'll see you at the next episode. May the Force be with you.